What is our third main topic today?
All right, this is coming from Tommy Doyle. I just saw an IGN article that officially confirmed that the Matt Reeves Batman is rated PG-13. It caused a fair amount of backlash as fans expected it to be rated R based on those epic trailers. I'm still very pumped about the movie, but to me, this was a bit of a surprise. What do you make of this, and will there ever be an R-rated Batman movie?
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And so I'll be honest with you. I wasn't even going to talk about this because the news came out that the Batman was going to be indeed PG-13, to which I was water wet. Of course, everybody knew it was going to be PG-13. I mean, that's what Batman should be. That's what it is. I was really surprised to see the amount of backlash I saw online and the debates going on online about a lot of people really, for some inexplicable reason, thought this was going to be rated R. Which I thought that was kind of like the Tooth Fairy. Like maybe something you believe in if you're 6, but as you get older, you know that's not the case. And find out there was, actually, there's a lot of people that really believe in the Tooth Fairy. There was a lot of people that actually thought the new Batman was going to be rated R. They were expecting it, especially as it turns out, after watching the trailers. They're like, well, that's the trailer to an R-rated movie. No, it's not. Nothing happened to those trailers that looked R-rated. But it did launch a lot of discussion, a lot of debate online, some passionate debating I saw going on. My basic thought on the whole Batman rating is this. Batman never should be rated R. And Batman never needs to be rated R. Look, remember, The Dark Knight, which had the infamous pencil scene with the Joker. Oh, I love that scene so much.
It's great.
That's a PG-13. That's a PG-13. And we often talk on the shows like, when I have a discussion with somebody who wants Batman to be rated R, I always go to this. So you're saying you want titties? No, I'm not saying we need titties in a Batman movie. Okay. So you're saying you want to see a lot of explicit sex. No, I'm not saying we need a lot of explicit sex. Oh, so you just think it'd be more cool if Batman said fuck more. No. Well, then you're okay with it being PG-13. I mean, I don't know where it's at. Anyway, this comes to us from the folks over at Variety who write the following. The film has been rated PG-13 for strong, violent, and disturbing content, drug content, strong language, and some suggestive material, according to the MPA. Sources close to the film say the Batman, which is grounded more in reality than recent DC adaptations, was able to nab a PG-13 rather than an R rating because it doesn't have excessive foul language or nudity. Sorry, Pattinson fans. And though intense action scenes abound, it's more along the lines of exploding buildings and wrecked cars than merciless stabbings or shooting sprees. With that in mind, the less provisional rating isn't a surprise since Christopher Nolan's exceedingly grim The Dark Knight trilogy were christened as PG-13. So again, when I have a discussion with somebody about this Batman and wanting it R, I'm like, so you're either saying you want a bunch of sex or you just want him to drop the F-bomb more. And that would magically make it a better movie? I mean, Batman would be better if it was rated R. Why, 'cause titties would make it better? I mean, I just don't understand. Well,
only on Cock Max.
Only on Cock Max. I don't know what the thinking is there. This does not need to be rated R. We saw the level of violence that we're going to get in these trailers. That is PG-13. I think people think PG-13 and they think Pixar. That PG-13 is family friendly. You can do a lot in PG-13, and I'll go one step further. I think you can do everything you need to do in a Batman movie in order to do a great Batman movie. So look, would I have complained if they had made this rated R? I wouldn't have complained if they made it rated R. That's fine. But the R rating wouldn't have made it any better. This isn't Deadpool where you kind of need to sort of be, if you want to do the Deadpool they're doing, you can do a PG-13 Deadpool, you can. But if you want to do the Deadpool they're doing, that's got to be rated R. But Batman does not need to be it. That's just my take on it. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. Now, look, guys, it's a brand new year. It's time to make some resolutions about taking care of ourselves, and that includes taking care of our balls. For too long, too many guys I know have been using like beard trimmers, or even worse, this part of the electric razor to take care of the area down there. It's barbaric. It's like trying to carve the statue of David using a dull butter knife. Thankfully, there is a solution for guys like you and me, and it's Manscaped. Manscaped is a company dedicated to giving us guys products to take care of the parts that we often forget to take care of properly. Now, I've been using the Performance Package 4.0. The package includes the backbone of their line, the Lawnmower 4.0. And listen, I love this thing. It's designed and built specifically for our ball area, giving the best and most comfortable results that I have personally, honestly, ever had. And you have to try to believe it. It also comes with the Weed Whacker. It's a specialized tool for, your nose and ear hair trimming that Ray Ora himself just recently used for a special event, and it worked better than his previous tools. And I gotta mention the body wash. I am not joking. I used the body wash for the first time about a week ago, and you can ask Kimberly, Ray, or Rob, or any of them. I came into the studio that day raving about how I haven't enjoyed taking a shower this much in a long time. The body wash is fantastic. Also included is the Crop Preserver. That's your ball deodorant, guys. Take care of yourselves down there. And also don't forget the Crop Reviver, which is a ball toner. So guys, get 20% off and free shipping with the code Campea at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Make sure you use that promo code Campea. It's the new year, guys. No pubes in 2022 with Manscaped. Rob, you and I, we've had this discussion a bunch
many times
over the years, but now, this Batman movie with the trailers we've seen for it, the kind of grim, the dark, that visceral kind of feeling to it. Number one, are you surprised it got a PG-13? And number two, what do you think about the notion that maybe it should have been rated R?
Well, first of all, I've never understood why people judge a film by its rating. Raiders of the Lost Ark is PG. Jaws is PG. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom has Mola Ram ripping out some dude's heart and holds it up while it's beating and it turns into fire. And that was PG-13. And like you pointed out, the Nolan trilogy is PG-13. What does a rating... I mean, look, Deadpool has a lot of body, sexually suggestive humor, and some incredible violence. I understand that. And the way that movie works, it's great for that movie. I don't think a PG-13 or a PG Deadpool would be as much fun. But for me, Batman, like you pointed out, Batman is kind of in all ages, as much as it can be as grimdark as you want it to be. But Batman's still Batman. They can't... I mean, Joker's a murderous... He's a murderous psychopath. So an R rating for that film's fine. But Batman... I mean, come on, you're going to have kids and their parents going, as grimdark as it may be, as killer or stab, or however psychotic the Joker or the Riddler turns out to be in this movie. Do we need to see heads on pikes to convey the violence? I don't think so. I mean, to me, a great movie, it doesn't matter what it's rated. I mean, 2001's rated G. So is Star Trek The Motion Picture. Do I like them any less because they have G ratings? No.
Yeah, now you could have, if they wanted to make it R, they could have. And I'm sure that when discussing a new Batman, considering, remember, before R-rated comic book content would flop, but there's been some successes with it lately. So I'm sure there was probably some conversations at some point about, okay, well, if we're going to do Batman, should we consider rated R? I'm sure that was part of a conversation. Sure. But again, it just comes down to what was not in The Dark Knight that you feel kept it from being a great movie. A lot of people, I don't personally, but a lot of people consider The Dark Knight to be the greatest comic book film of all time. PG-13. But anyway, Kim, you're hearing about this, the discussion that goes on between, it's got a PG-13 rating, which I don't think was ever going to be in doubt. But, do you think there could be advantages to there being a rated R, or do you think PG-13 is exactly where this thing should be?
PG-13 is exactly where this should be. It's exactly where it should be. Because I look back at Christopher Nolan's version and it blew us away. I think sometimes on some of his of the trilogy, I'd have to pause and wait for the rating to pop up and go, wait a minute, what was this? Was this? Oh, it was PG-13. Not that they were throwing around F words, because they couldn't, but it doesn't need boobies. It doesn't need the F word. Did you see him? I am vengeance. Boom, boom, boom. He doesn't need to be, I am effing vengeance.
I am effing vengeance.
Is it going to make it? Well, you were kind of soft the way you said it. You should have said the F word. No, he got his point across very clearly without saying the F word. And I think Catwoman, she's going to be sultry and sexy and powerful and action oriented without showing her tits. So calm down. Get over it.
Darn it. No, but
Like I said, calm down. Get over it.
I know. I think you're making a really good point. I mean, if you think about The Dark Knight and the opening heist sequence.
Oh my gosh. So much
when
adrenaline.
Joker is killing people he's machine gunning them down.
Yeah.
You do not see blood squibs. You don't see blood squibs. And they did that because if they had Paul Verhoeven blood squibs where blood is erupting from bodies, then you would have garnered an R rating, and they don't have to do that.
And was the scene any less effective without the blood
it was
squibs?
not, because you know what? You don't even realize there's no blood squibs there until you go back and watch it, and even now, like, oh wow, there are no blood squibs, because it doesn't. He's still gunning a dude down. If you want to make the gunning of somebody down much more graphic, if you want to do a David Fincher 7-esque version of the Batman, I'd be there for that. But the Batman character is appealing to all ages, and it would really curtail, I think, the audience. Sure, it could do Joker money, but in the long run, are you doing a good thing for the Batman franchise by
Ray,
making it R rated?
What about me? I mean, I'm curious because, the thing about balance between rated R, PG-13, you're, as a viewer, what will you want to see Batman rated as?
It's just fine, but I wanted to, I think the rating is just fine, but I wanted to point out that opening to The Dark Knight that Rob just mentioned is like one of my favorite openings to a movie. Just because the music is like,
Yeah.
and it's like, then you hear the little ticking of the watch.
And there's a whine at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's completely effective. You watch that scene.
That opening.
It's a tour de force shot in IMAX.
That's why that DVD is in my car. Like, I've never taken out of the DVD player. I always watch that.
You watch the movie while you're driving?
Not while I'm driving. But there's sometimes where I have to wait outside a store, and so I'll put that on, and that opening is just great. But anyways, the rating, it doesn't bother me at all.
But John,
it doesn't need blood.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking is, say they were redoing Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
And they were making it PG-13. I can understand being upset at that.
Yes.
Certain stories with certain characters where it's appropriate, where this character, he's cutting someone's head off. I mean, it wasn't Silence of the Lambs, it was a sequel, but when he was eating, Ray Liotta's brains?
That's in Hannibal.
That in Hannibal. But that needs to be there, because that's that character, that's that story, that's that history. So, yeah, I'd get upset if
there's a template has been set for it.
It's a template's been set, and that's how hardcore this character is. So I would be pissed if they said, we're going to do a PG-13 Silence of the Lambs. Then you get upset. But if you've never seen a Batman where it was all the stuff that you're complaining about, and now you're upset because the next one is PG-13, just like the amazing, legendary Christopher Nolan trilogy.
You know what else too? I mean, like, if you think about it, say there's some R-rated sex scene between Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson, which I would not object to having. But I think something like that would feel actually really out of place in a Batman movie.
Remember what was that animated Batman one where Batman just fucked Batgirl on the rooftop?
I hate.
What was it? Killing Joke? Or was that a
I think that's a Killing Joke.
Killing Joke? It's like,
it made no sense.
And everybody's like, what? Why is this here? This doesn't do anything for it.
No, and it totally made her look
I agree.
That character.
I mean, as beautiful as Zoe Kravitz is,
It'd be out of place.
It would not feel like a Batman movie anymore.
Yeah.
Even in the comics, they don't have like R rating. I mean, Dark Knight Returns, stuff like that, but it's still weird. Like, it just would feel weird. And huge graphic violence. I mean, Batman beating somebody with his fist is enough. That's like, whoa, man, you feel his fury. But if you were to see like somebody's teeth popping out and their whole face like an irreversible beat to a pulp, it would just be like, ugh.
Yeah, if you wanted to see Batman taking out a Batarang, and like after he beats that guy in the face, pulling out a metal Batarang and then starts stabbing him in the face with it over and over again, okay, you could do that, but it's not consistent with the character and everything we know. Anyway, guys, we could probably talk about this all day. The question is for you. What do you think about this? Batman The Batman, I should say, has been given officially a PG-13 rating. Are you surprised about that? Do you think it should have been R? Where are you guys feeling about this right now? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.